Do I have a big red spot on my forehead? I just bent over to pick something up and I rammed my head into a piece of metal that was sticking out from a shelf, and like, dang, it hurt. I don't see anything though, so I guess I'm okay. Hey, so today is it's kind of an odd day for me. I'm going to be doing a lot of little projects. I thought maybe I'd just take you along for the ride. Couple things that need to be done. Shop setup, not to be confused with shop cleanup. Don't do that. But show you a couple little things. Gonna install my post vise, which I've had for a long time. Finally get it on there, I think. I gotta fix a tool. I gotta fix a log splitter that I've got. And what else? Oh, I'm gonna make a muller. We'll see how that goes. And I'm gonna make another smaller flask for casting stuff. So a bunch of little stuff. We'll just kind of take you along and show you bits and pieces as we go. All right, first things first. So I've got this, this is my post vise. I picked it up at an auction. I took it all apart and cleaned it all up. You know what, I'll link a video at the end to show you the cleanup in case it was one of my older videos and you may have missed it. So I'll give you a chance to take a look at that. It's a really cool vise. Made by a company called Iron City. It's probably at least 100 years old, maybe a little bit older, based on the research I did. So got to forge a cool piece for it. Anyway, this is the piece of metal I hit my head on right here. Dumb metal. Let me show you what happens here now. See how that thing is sitting above the floor? We're going to have to figure out a way to support that from the bottom. Otherwise it won't work as a proper pole vise. And I think I'm going to use something like this. Where is it on the camera there? And down at the base is something to hammer on, to be able to put on the bottom of the pole or the post here, because I'm going to probably just build this up with pieces of wood or something and get it to the right height, and then we'll just put that hard piece of steel on there to distribute all the force. I'm not driving this little post down into there. But there's one thing done. Got the post vise on the bench. Next, okay, we got this done. Now we're going to go make a flask, a tiny flask. I went to the scrapyard this morning. They had angle iron, which was awesome. They had all kinds of really cool round. I'm pretty happy about what finds I got today. So I need to come over to my welding table. We'll get this cut up and we'll make us a flask. All right, so I got these pieces of angle. I don't know how long any of them are, so we'll go ahead and measure them up and see what we can build. Looks like I've got shortest piece, 6.5 inches, 8 inches of that piece, 7.25, 7.25, 12, and 14. So let me figure out what I can do here and we'll come back. Okay, this is my shortest piece, actually like 6.25. So I just went ahead and marked all these 4 pieces, or these other 3 pieces, the same length. So I'll have on the inside dimension, I'm going to have 6.25. And I figured with what I had left over and this piece right here, I could get 7 inches, which is going to give me basically a 4x6 opening for my flask, which will be quite a bit smaller than what I've got now. I'm hoping that'll be big enough to actually do something useful. But we're going to see. I just know that that thing is huge. From when I'm doing tiny little stuff, it's a lot of sand to ram up for very little reason. So I'm going to try to make we're going to try to make this small. So let's go back over that way to the newly installed vise and see if we can't cut these guys off. I love it. It works great. Just barely, not for hitting on, but it's great for holding. So awesome. Should have done this a year ago when I bought it. Started wearing these. Can you see that? Need to protect your hearing if you don't know that. Put some glasses on as well. Protect my eyes. Such a safety guy today. There's my original flask. See how big it is, which is a nice size flask, but it's big. I think this is going to be nice for doing small stuff. I can put a sprue and a riser or something and do a small piece. I think it'll work out well. So, got everything cleaned. Got the scale. I got the scale cleaned off. All the surfaces I'm going to weld. So we'll go ahead and get these guys welded up, and we will have another flask. Oh, I am so good. I am so good. I welded that up backwards. That's how it fits. It's supposed to go on there like that, but that don't look right, does it? Grinding wheel. All right, new flask. I got to drill a couple holes and weld a bolt through there so I can get it, a couple of alignment pins. But you can see how it compares to the other one. I think this will be a nice size for doing some small stuff. So, project number 2 done. What's next? Oh, molar. Got to make a molar. Let's go see what we can do about that. I'm just looking at myself in the monitor, which is right behind my camera. You've noticed that I always look away. I look over here. That's because I'm looking at the monitor and not looking at the camera for some. I know it looks awkward looking. Isn't it awkward? Anyway, what I'm going to make is a muller, but it's not really a muller. If you know what a muller is, you're going to say that's not a muller. That's a mixer or something. Well, you're probably right. That's a mixer. The idea here is that my Petrobond, my casting sand, when I cast something, it burns the oil that the metal comes close to or comes in contact with, and what you end up with is just this black sand, which has had all the oil and all the bonding agent, essentially the oil, burned out of it. So now you've got this real fine sand that is not good for anything. I mean, I guess you could put it in an hourglass or something, but it doesn't bind together. So you can supposedly, we're going to find out, supposedly you can mix non-detergent motor oil back into it, and it will become, what's the word? I don't know. Adhesible. That's not the word. But you'll be able to pack it together and it'll hold together, and I'll be able to reuse it. So let me take you over here to the welding table and I'll show you what we're going to build. All right, so here it is. Here's my here's my muller, my mixer. Basically, what we're going to do is I'm going to cut this piece so it's the width of the bucket. Then we're going to cut it in half, and we're going to weld it on either side of this rod. And then once that, I'm going to do the same thing with this one. We'll turn this guy, and we're going to weld that one on either side of this rod. So we'll have essentially we'll have 4 blades in there mixing. I know a real muller has a wheel that packs things down and it has blades. I might be able to weld blades on there too. We'll see how this works out. But let me first get the basic structure built and make sure that it will fit in there, and we can, I'll get some oil, we'll try it out. All right, I got my rods cut. Have I mentioned how much I love imperial measurements? So these are 6 3/8. So now I got to go half of that. Fortunately, that's easy enough to do. It's 3 3/16, but come on, 3 3/16. Why don't I just measure this stuff with a metric ruler, and I would just have a number of millimeters. I could just divide it. But no, I'm here in America. We don't do that. So 3 3/16. We'll cut each of these this long. Get it welded up on our bar. And you were just going to let me get away with that, weren't you? I didn't measure that right. This thing it was 6 inches. I subtracted 3/8 off of it. That makes it 5 5/8. Now we're into the awesomeness of the imperial measuring system, because 5 5/8 is 2.5, right? That's 5 and 8. 5 and 5/6. That can't. 5 1/2. It's 2.5 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/16. Right about there. Gah. See, I told you. I told you. Gotta go metric. All right, I got my pieces cut. Nice, nice. See if we can't get that to fit in there somewhere. And I want to just get this on here as square as I can. So I'm going to call that good right there. If I can't get a clamp on that somehow. That. Oh, and it feels perfectly balanced too. All right, let's see if we can't figure out how to get this thing square and get these edges like that on there. That ought to be a hoot, don't you think? Well, let's see what we can do. Call that reasonably square. And we're going to call that reasonably square. There we go. There we go. There's my mixer. So now, put her inside there, put some sand in there, put some oil, which I don't have. I got to run to the store and get oil. but I think that's going to work pretty good. I think. Looks like it's going to do it. So we'll see. I'll be back. I got to go to the store. Bought non-detergent motor oil because that's what they say to use. So I've got in this bucket right here. I got to show you this too. This was great. I came back and I had this thing sitting inside here that I'd been welding on it and whatever, and I couldn't get it out of there. It was just sitting in there, and I realized that what had happened. I could see that. Did you see that right there? Where is that? There, right there. I melted a hole right through the side of the dumb thing. Melted the bottom of it too. God. All right, that's okay. This is just a proof of concept. So we're going to see if we can't get this black lid off here and get to my burned Petrobond that I've been saving. There it is. So here's my Petrobond. Yeah, it doesn't really, even that was pretty good, but it doesn't hold together because it's all been burned out of there. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take this stuff. I don't know how much, and I have no idea how much I need to put, how much oil I need to put in here. All right. So here we go. Hold it. See, it just doesn't do it. So we're going to try to add a little bit of this. I watched a guy do it on YouTube of all places, and he put a lot in. Well, it's definitely oilier. Oh, yeah, I mean, it's not there yet. I need more oil, but that's definitely better. This is going to smoke to high heaven when I pour metal on it. It's going to smell awful, awful. But man, I think that's there. I think that's just what you want, right? So let me change the camera and I'll say goodbye to you. Okay, good day. I think it's a good Saturday afternoon. I probably 4 hours out here today. Got my vise, my vise mounted. I love this thing. I wish I kick at myself because I didn't mount it a year ago when I had it done. I used it about 100 times tonight or today just doing stuff and holding stuff. It is so nice. I got to get a base put on it, but that's all right. We'll get that done. We got a flask made, a smaller flask. Good deal on that. It's going to be nice to have a smaller one. Got a muller made. So far, so good. I think when I may try to cast something tomorrow. We'll see. Supposed to snow tomorrow, and it may be too darn cold to be casting anything, but we'll see when it happens. So I think it's a pretty good day. So here's the hard part for me now. I got 20 seconds left to get my little screen things up and tell you to subscribe and that sort of stuff. So here goes. If you want to see the original video on my vise, I'll put it down here. Let's see what else. Oh, you need to go watch the contest I've got. I'll put that up here. And then subscribe. I'll put that right over my head. I don't know. Let's see. Anyway, you guys have a great day.